Libra Love Lounge, the show where I read posts on Reddit and give them relationship advice. My name is Eliana Camargo, and let's jump into the first post. My 30 female husband, 33 male, sent an apology to his ex-girlfriend from 8 years ago without my knowledge. Back in my junior year of college, I was struggling with a breakup and failing a semester's worth of classes. My mom and stepdad were in the midst of a divorce, so I didn't have much support from them. When I came home that summer, I ran into my old high school sweetheart, Sam. Sam used to call me the love of his life, his future, his everything, but I was stupid and ended things. And when he started dating, I realized I wasn't ready to move on. I'm curious, I wonder why she ended things with him. I'm always curious when people just like glaze over stuff like that. I'm like, I wanna know the reason. Nothing I did could convince him to try again, so he found a new girlfriend and I went to college. As he should if you rejected him. It's his right to move on. Meeting up that summer, things weren't bitter or anything. He had ghosted me before, so I was a little confused, but our talk went well and I asked if we could be friends since I needed someone. He said sure. He told me right away he was still dating the same girl and I said okay. Later on that week, I was distraught as hell. Called him up because I needed some comfort, and we did it. We did it in the morning too. So he's cheating on his girlfriend? None of that was my intent inviting him over, but it happened. He left telling me this was over. I got pregnant! While I didn't want to tell him or anyone else know, my mom ended up telling him and his girlfriend, which led to them breaking up. Oh, this is so messy! Also, why didn't you want to tell your baby daddy that he has a child coming into this world? Like, I get it, he didn't want to be messy with like his current girlfriend and everything, but like, woo! This is some tea, oh my goodness. Sam and I ended up together and now have a son. We're in couples counseling, amazing! And as I deep down know, Sam doesn't see me much like a wife, but more like a roommate or co-parent. Oof. I do love him, and I know he likely won't ever leave because of our son and guilt. I did, however, see on his phone he messaged his old ex-girlfriend. I've occasionally looked her up, but she doesn't have a lot of social media. In the message, he wrote a long, and I mean long message apologizing for all he had done, what a selfish boyfriend he was. He's carried the weight of his choice every day, and he was so happy to see how much she has done since their breakup. Her brother committed suicide around the time we cheated. Oh my god, that's a lot for her to go through at once. I was frustrated at the message and confronted, asking where was my long apology for how much he's put me through by not being a respectful partner. Oh my god. These things they're not the same things. Sam told me he was guilty for what we did to her, not anything our dumb choices did him or me. He thinks I'm being overdramatic, getting upset. How can I get him to understand that this is wrong? I think you need to understand that you've been kind of fucking up from the beginning. Sounds like you've been the problem all along. Oh, well, I'm sorry you're going through this. I'm sorry to your husband and to his ex-girlfriend. Well, first off, I think it's incredibly normal to, even 8 years later, to reflect on our past relationships and want to reach out and apologize for things or get closure on things, especially because so much time has passed that like the emotional weight or the feelings that you have tying you to that person have long faded, but the guilt or any other emotions, there might still be some kind of closure there that sometimes these emotions can come up where you feel called and compelled to reach out to somebody, not to reconnect or try to reestablish a relationship with them, but just to get closure or to apologize or any kind of thing like that. I think that's incredibly normal and incredibly healthy. It probably would be a good idea to inform your current partner, like, hey, this is how I've been feeling about my ex and I kind of want to reach out and apologize to them. That would probably smooth things over a little bit easier than your current partner just finding out that you're in contact with your ex. It's such a huge common problem in relationships that instead of communicating in a positive way where you see that your partner is apologizing for past wrongdoings, instead of communicating and being like, oh, you know what? I've realized that I have some feelings of resentment coming up over XYZ, and let's talk about this. Let's discuss about it because I feel like I might be owed an apology too. Or, you know, using that as a gateway, a doorway to communication instead of being like, why are you apologizing to her and not me? Clearly I deserve an apology and you're wrong for reaching out to her. Like, it's so immature. It's so immature. And like these situations aren't apples to apples. Whatever you're wanting him to apologize for is different than his need to apologize to his ex. Like you can have both. You can have both. Instead of getting upset that he didn't do something, work towards the solution instead of fighting the problem. It does make me wonder, since she's saying that it feels sometimes like they're more roommates or co-parents, and now he's reaching out to his ex, I'm like, I wonder if there's any kind of lingering feelings there that he has where he's like, damn, that was like a real love relationship and I fucked it up by cheating with my ex that I'm now married to. I wonder if there's a little bit of that, and I wonder if that's what she's wondering as well. And so it's great that they're in couples counseling so she can kind of address that and see if there is love and romance in her current relationship with her husband, that they can kind of help blossom. But it does suck when you have a child with someone and you realize that this isn't the romantic relationship that you deep down long for. But she kind of got herself into this situation. So let's read what the comments have to say. You don't get it, do you? You are in the wrong. There is no universe where you are the victim or in the right. You slept with someone that you knew damn well was dating someone else. You don't deserve an apology. She does. From you. Let's see, OP responds, I guess I've made peace with all of it in therapy. I know what I did was wrong, but 8 years is just too long to hold on to it. I decided it wasn't healthy for me as a person, but also as a mom and wife. I forgave myself for the stupid choices I've made. His ex has moved on too. Why invade her life with an apology she likely doesn't care about? Oh my god, she's so self-centered. I mean, there's an element of truth there that you shouldn't hold on to guilt for a long time, and you need to learn to forgive yourself if you actually get to the root of why you did what you did, and you recognize what you did is wrong, and you process it and move past it. You know, it's never good to carry guilt all of your life. But this is not it. I don't think it's ever too late to apologize to somebody. And I think she's really underestimating how much the ex would receive an apology. She sounds incredibly self-centered. Another comment says, what is he supposed to apologize to you for? What is wrong with apologizing to someone? That's what I'm curious about. Like, what does she want an apology about? And OP responds, I would have liked us to discuss things first. Him messaging her after 8 years is just odd to me. Okay, so it sounds like the apology that she needs is the fact that he apologized to his ex, that he reached out to her. And so she's like, you need to apologize to me for reaching out to your ex, which is just ridiculous. Don't just be like, apologize to me. So aggressive. Communicate and be like, this bothered me for XYZ reasons. Maybe the reasons why this is bothering me is a me issue and not a you issue, but I wanted to communicate to you that this is how I'm feeling right now. You know, I want to understand your reasoning of why you felt so compelled to apologize to your ex, and it's making me feel insecure. You know, communicate in that way, but don't play the victim. Sometimes when you communicate the turmoil, the emotional turmoil that you're going through, it's not so that your partner can change or apologize or because they've done anything wrong. It's just your own kind of insecurities bubbling up. And you can communicate to him like, hey, next time you want to reach out to an ex, I would appreciate if you talk to me about what you're planning on doing so I could feel included and not like you're going behind my back. Okay, next post. 18 female and 25 male. Am I in the wrong for asking why when my boyfriend asked to see my phone? To make an extremely long and complicated story short, I was hanging out with my boyfriend and then suddenly he asked to see my phone. Now to preface this, he's been cheated on in past relationships, and I told him I'll be patient and understanding with him, but also that a level of mutual trust is needed in order for a healthy and amiable relationship. I understand that his trust has been betrayed, but when you willingly decide to enter into a relationship with someone else, you gotta let that past go. Anyways, he asked me for my phone out of the blue, and I innocently asked a simple why. I didn't even sound like scared or trying to hide anything. The question was just merely out of curiosity before I gave him the phone. He gets upset and mad and starts screaming and yelling at me, obviously being very accusatory, and while he never flat out said, I know you're cheating, I could tell from his tone and his body language that's what he thought. This isn't the first time we've had a fight about him thinking I'm cheating on him. I've told him on multiple occasions that he's my first boyfriend. I had no prior relationship experience. He took my virginity, etc. Meanwhile, he had 2 kids, 2 baby mamas, and a whole slew of other exes that still hit him up to this day. So when I brought up the fact that he has more of a past than I do, and if anyone in the relationship should be worried about cheating, it should be me, he got defensive and told me I was being immature. I see what she's saying, but also I don't at the same time, because like just because someone has more history doesn't mean they're more likely to cheat. I feel like those are 2 separate things. To add the cherry on top of the whole situation, I found letters he wrote to his ex in a shoebox under his bed, and when I brought up the fact that he still has those letters, he told me that he was gonna show their son when he gets older. Interesting. I understand that snooping around is wrong, but when I went through the shoebox, I found letters and like 2 abortion pamphlets. Who tells their child that they were gonna get aborted? He was definitely lying to me, I feel like. Oh my god. Why did he keep those in the shoebox? That's wild. That's so funny. After that, he told me to leave his house and to never contact him again. He does this every time we fight. He kicks me out, blocks me on everything, doesn't talk to me for a few days, then randomly hits me up without any sort of apology or anything and expects things to go back to normal. Wow, it sounds like he has great communication skills. Anyways, I guess I'm just writing this to get some advice about the whole situation. Am I in the wrong here? Is he? Are we both? Should I stay with him or should I break up with him for good? Well, if this was me, I have zero tolerance for this shit, so I would break up with them. But here's the thing, is in order for someone to learn how to communicate, you have to be in relationship most of the time to get past issues like this, so that when stuff like this comes up to trigger you, you can work on it and heal and learn to communicate in more effective ways and not just always accusing your partner or screaming and shouting at them and kicking them out. So if you really, really want to be patient with him and help you both grow and evolve, then maybe you could stay with him and work past it. I wouldn't, but maybe you want to. But I would 100% not continue unless you both get couples therapy and he gets individual therapy, because he clearly has a lot of trauma and issues that he needs to heal from. And accusing you of things and then screaming at you and then kicking you out, like, none of that is acceptable. None of that is okay by any means. It is also strange that he's keeping the shoebox to show his kid the love letters that him and his baby mama had. Like, that's kind of cute, but on another leaf, it's a little bit weird. It's like, hey, I'm not with your mom anymore, but here are letters from when we were in love. I don't know, I have mixed feelings about that. I feel like the child would have mixed feelings about that too. I personally don't think that it's a red flag that he keeps letters from his ex. I think most people would find that as a red flag. They need to like completely delete all photos and delete all text messages and everything. But I like having those sentimental things so that 10 years in the future, you can reminisce and be like, oh shit, that was a relationship I was in. I forgot what this was like. And my ex had a shoebox of things from when he was with his ex, and I never minded, but that might just be a me thing. If he's lying about the reason why he's keeping it though, that's a little bit sus. That adds some strangeness to it. So that's my advice is, yeah, I would break up. If you want to give it a shot, only under the circumstances that you're getting couples therapy, because this goes beyond just normal communication, normal relationship communication. You need outside help at this point. But let's see what the comments have to say. Break up with him. I know this is a very typical Reddit thing to suggest, but my God, the projection is unreal. You've just started out life in the adult world, opportunities, education, and travel. In no way should you be bogged down by someone with 2 baby mamas and a laundry list of issues, which he uses against you, who gets excessively verbal. This relationship will not sustain you into the future. I'm sorry, you deserve a lot better with someone who's more equal to both your maturity and prospects. The fact he's dating you is also questionable with the age gap. OP responds, thank you. I guess I'm just now realizing how messed up the whole thing is, now that I'm really thinking about it. A month after I turned 18, he hit me up. I have virtually no experience, so he was kind of my first, and he made me feel special. It's gonna hurt, but I'm definitely going to break up with him. Thank you. Oh, he's gonna break up, yes! Yeah, after reading this comment, spelling everything out, where they're just like, there is no other option, just break up with him. I agree. I'm trying to get to a point where I'm so quick to end things with someone if they just breathe wrong, and I'm recognizing that relationships are here not just to make us feel good, but to help us grow and expand and evolve. And so sometimes it's worth it to work through struggles, but sometimes it's not, especially when you're 18 years old. That's how old she is, right? 18 and 25. That is a little bit strange of an age gap, especially when you have 2 children with 2 different girls. Yeah, just drop this dude. Just drop him. It's not worth it. Okay, next post. My fiance, 28 male, is concerned about genetically having kids with me, 24 female, because my brother is autistic. Okay. I have a 14-year-old brother who suffers from Asperger's syndrome. So not even like the most severe autism that's like challenging to live with or to raise someone or have a family member with it. It's Asperger's. It's not severe autism. Okay. Who my fiance of 6 months has known for the entirety of our 4-year relationship. My fiance has always been annoyed by my brother, and when my brother used to have emotional episodes, not as frequent now, my fiance would make out-of-pocket comments like someone needs to slap him or he's an embarrassment. Why are you? Physical violence is never the answer. That is such an out-of-pocket comment, like what the hell? He would also ask me questions such as, when is he going to get his act together? Oh my God. And it took a while for my fiancé to firmly grasp what Asperger's syndrome was, because at first he seemed to think it was a personal choice. Yes, I am choosing to be this way. I'm choosing to be hypersensitive to the world and have emotional breakdowns as a result. That's definitely... I just love making that choice. Since we're engaged, we have been discussing important aspects of what we want in our future together. One of those discussions involved having children together, and something that caught me off guard was the fact that he was discussing adoption. I have nothing against adoption, but I've always wanted to have biological children that share the combined DNA of me and my fiancé. When I asked him why he was bringing up adoption, when he always talked about having biological kids when we were first dating, he said, "I'm concerned that our kids would end up like your brother, and that would be the end of us." Wow, that's wow. My brain couldn't comprehend at first his statement, and I guess I looked at him weird because this made him say, "Don't act like you want kids as messed up as your brother." I told him that we'll have this conversation another time, and I'm still trying to digest what he said. Yes, I wouldn't want my future kids to suffer like my brother, but the entirety of what he said is something that I don't know how to feel about. What are some ways to digest and process what my fiancé said? Oh my, well, you need to do more than just digest and process. After you're done digesting and processing, leave his ass! No time or patience for this type of prejudice. There's absolutely nothing wrong with people with autism, or like in this case, it's not even severe autism, it's Asperger's, which is an outdated term for, that term doesn't exist anymore. It's all just part of that, the autism spectrum, and Asperger's is a very mild form of it. What would he do if his kid had Down syndrome or any other mental or physical disability? Like, just because someone's family has the genetics for it doesn't mean that if your family's perfectly healthy in every other way, that you're not gonna have a child that has a disability. And so you would just abandon them? Just give them up for adoption or something? That is wild. This is incredibly offensive, especially as someone that has ADHD. I have many symptoms that overlap with autism, and I tend to vibe with people who have autism, so I'm just like extra offended by this. You know, he's showing you his true colors, and I don't think that's the type of person that you want in your life. So yeah, I have no tolerance for people like this, and I don't think that OP sounds like they do either. And so I feel like oftentimes when you get engaged, the universe kind of throws situations at you to show you like, are you really sure you want to marry this person? And the universe is giving you that opportunity to realize before you get married that actually no, this man does not have the morals that you want in a partner. Anyone who said that a kid should be slapped because they're having an emotional meltdown, it's just like, that's not gonna help the situation. And like it's just like, I have no words for just. So let's read what the comments have to say. They quoted a line about how my fiance would make out-of-pocket comments like someone needs to slap him or he's an embarrassment. And the comment replies, "Take the Asperger's out of the room for a moment, as your fiance didn't believe in it. What's left? He believes in slapping children when they act out. Understanding your brother might not be in control doesn't change that point. Would you have children with this man? Your children don't require neurological differences to suffer when he had this mindset." That is so true. He's vile, actually. Actively says he wants to abuse and hit kids, even worse, autistic kids, for acting out, and is extraordinarily ableist and disgusted by the idea of having an autistic kid. That's literally sick, girl. Dump him. Don't try to talk to him. He's been this way forever. Imagine you convince him to change his mind and you have bio kids and they are autistic or have ADHD or are disabled physically or mentally in other ways. Exactly what I said. He literally said that he'd ditch you and leave your kid to fend for yourselves. You want to have kids with this kind of sicko? Your potential kids deserve better than him as a father. Absolutely. Absolutely. Zero tolerance for this type of shit. Just leave. Leave. Okay, next post. I, 35 female, always wanted a tattoo dedicated to my kid. Now I know what I want. Husband, 35 male, says he hates all tattoos. What to do? I, 35 female, know my husband, 35 male, for 8 years, and we are married for 4 years. Our daughter is 2.5 years old. I have a few piercings, which I've got before we knew each other, and I've always said that if we have a kid, I'd like to have a tattoo dedicated to them. I had this idea long before I was even sure that I wanted or could have children, maybe for 20 years or so. Some background that might be important for context. My husband's sister, 26 female, is the opposite of him and his preferences. If not for their mom, they probably wouldn't hang out together. She's covered in tattoos, piercings, dyes her hair, wears a significant amount of makeup, had a few cosmetic procedures done, etc. You get the picture. I personally don't think there's anything wrong with that. Everyone should just be their unique selves. His sister had a bit of different upbringing than him due to the family circumstances and often acts in an entitled, spoiled, and sometimes even childish way, which annoys my husband in family settings. My dad always said she wanted a tattoo, never got one, and told me on his deathbed that it was one of his small regrets he had. Ooh. Anyway, back to today, I finally know what tattoo I want and where. It'll be small and narrow on an area which isn't visible when I'm dressed. I excitedly told him and showed him the design. His face dropped. He said it's my body and if I really want it, I should do it, but that he wouldn't like it. He thinks all tattoos are ugly. Our kid will be, hopefully, always there, and he doesn't see the point in having something else, a tattoo, as a reminder of that. Okay? He's had really strong opinions like this in the past, which he changed later on when he learned that a different way was also valid. I'm hoping this might be one of those times. I'm absolutely torn now. I had this idea for so long and it's still something that I'd love to do, but I don't want to disregard my husband's opinion. My friends have mixed opinions, so I hope the Reddit community can help. If your friends had mixed opinions, I'm sure the Reddit community is gonna have even more mixed opinions. Well, this doesn't sound too bad. It's good that she's been talking about this forever, so it's not like the husband's unaware that he was marrying someone that wanted to do this. I think it's interesting that he's so against tattoos, because I don't understand that perspective. I think tattoos are cool. I don't personally want any for many reasons, but I would get like temporary tattoos. In fact, I do sometimes put like the children's temporary tattoos on my body because I'm scared of getting them permanently. I do kind of get it that when I'm dating someone that has just like an ugly tattoo or it's just like badly done or misplaced or something, it's a huge turnoff and I'm just like not into it, and it's hard to picture my future husband having a bad tattoo. I know it shouldn't be a deal breaker, but theoretically in my mind, it feels like one. So I kind of get where the husband is coming from that perspective, if he doesn't like this specific tattoo. But it sounds like he just doesn't like any tattoos. I don't know, like he said, it sounds like he's supportive in saying that it's your body, it's your choice, you can do whatever you want. It's not like he's gonna break up with you over this tattoo. So at the end of the day, do what you want, girl. You shouldn't care about him. But if you really do want to kind of appease him a little bit and get a little bit more input from him, I would ask him if he thinks a different design would be better, if a different location would be better, just to see if that's the issue. And then maybe you can come up with a tattoo that you both like. But at the end of the day, it's your body. It does not matter what he thinks. He should love you for your soul, for your heart and soul, and it doesn't matter what you look like. That's my advice, is see if it really is all tattoos or if just like this tattoo, he's like, it could be better. But at the end of the day, go get your tattoo, girl. So let's see what the comments have to say. My husband legitimately has half a sleeve of Pokemon. I don't like it. I told him I don't like it before he got it. But over time, I've actually stopped caring at all. He's still just as attractive, and it has made me a lot more easygoing with his subsequent tattoos because I know that no matter what, he'll always be my husband and no tattoo can change that. Exactly, very sweet. And OP was saying that sometimes the husband has a strong opinion about something, but over time, kind of changes his opinion or like loosens his grip on it. So like, he's not gonna care. He's not gonna care if you get this tattoo. Go get your tattoo. All right, well, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you wanna get the tea on other people's love lives, you can watch another episode of Libra Love Lounge right over here. But until next time, I'm sending you so much love. Bye.